and fail not to ruin a run. If you're not minus 2 minutes, then the run is dead.
Proper story is supposed to start at the beginning. Ain't so simple with this one.
I might just
Now
end the
here's a
run
kid
here,
whose whole world got all twisted, leaving him
and
stranded on a
just
rock in the
around.
sky.
Or do you guys
He
want
gets
to
up,
see the rest of the run?
sets off for the
There's one
Bastion,
glitch to go,
where everyone
and then
agreed to
there's
go
the
in case of
boss.
trouble. Ground forms up under his
If you
feet
guys
as it
want to
pointing
see
the way.
the boss,
He don't stop to wonder why.
and the last skip, I can
Finds his lifelong friend just lying in the road. Well, it's a touching reunion. He sees what's left of the rippling walls. Years of work undone in an instant. In the calamity, that is surviving. No, ma'am. It's a gas fella, forced out from underground. Sometimes you just need a drink.
If you haven't seen it, just say so.
Gotta hold her still to spin up the
But if you
chamber.
have seen it, and you want to see it again,
A school of squirts tunnels up around them. Must have fled here from the mines. He sets foot inside one of Celandia's famous watering holes. Inside's old Rondi, the bartender. The calamity got him before his drinking
on the
did.
fence
Then
about it.
Kid
I don't know
finds
if I
his
want to
trusty
stop
shield.
or want to keep going. 'Cause this run
The security takes him for a petty thief.
I guess I might as well do alien skip,
Special delivery.
alien machine skip
Gas fellas.
for the practice. And I'll stop.
Windbags start turning up for last call.
Yeah, I'm gonna do alien. Yeah, alien machine skippity skip.
More squirts start coming out of the woodwork.
Practice, do the skip.
A big old fella pops out in front of the kid.
So after the stream, I'll play some Sims 4, and then I'll be going.
He gets a good look at things on his way down.
Or I'll play something else. I don't know. I'll play something for like 50
He lands on
minutes
top of
after
a
the stream.
breaker's bow, and it ain't broke.
Is it like a cooldown period?
Good news is the emergency defenses still work. Bad news is they're aiming for the kid. He finds the distillery, right next to the arsenal.
Not exactly.
Tough part of town. One sip of the spirits in that distillery, and the kid'll feel like a new man. The arsenal's where the kid can pick the best tools for the job. An old ferry barge sends the kid on his way.
Close up and you get like
The
an after
Bastion's
shot
real
from it.
close now.
So if it's- The run is dead. I was gonna try.
Right back at you.
I ran backwards and still hit the cutscene somehow. I turned around and ran backwards and still hit the fucking cutscene. I wanted to try and skip it.
Kid takes a chunk of alloy. Smell of barley and spoiled blueberries fills the air. Scumbags. Kid maybe shouldn't have done what he just did. He finds the core to the wharf district. Well, down he goes.
It is good.
Down toward the
Pretty
Bastion.
dangerous to do, because if it falls off, you have to go all the way back and grab
Now the
another one.
kid sees something stranger still. His mind races. Did anybody else survive? Sure enough, he finds another. He finds me. And just like that, the Bastion comes alive. Starts growing again. Growing stronger. Kid's gotta put its power to good use. Now the Bastion can send him even farther into the wild unknown. Kid does it again. Only fair he decides what we build next. Kid don't know what's out there waiting for him. Now he lands at the intersection between bad and wrong. Ought to be a core down one of these twisted streets. But which one? And there it is. But it's locked down tight in an alloy cage. Almost like he's showboating for the crowd. And now there's a new marshal in town. He hears the whole place groan, but it's too tough to fall. He comes back, just like I knew he would. The core hums in his pack. The monument's calling for it. The old world's finished, but the new world's just getting started. The cores. They remember. That's why this place is coming together. That's why things are gonna be alright.
No.
Kid ponders what to build. The Bastion's a place of peace, but we can hold our own if we have to.
Definitely need the practice.
The dead welcome him with open arms.
Okay, let's try and get all headshots.
The calamity took everybody after all. Kid sees it plain,
Headshot.
frozen faces
Headshot.
all around. These folks
Headshot.
never saw the calamity coming, but
Headshot.
someone did.
Double
Someone
headshot
close.
for the-
There was someone
That's really
like
hard to do
him.
without
It's a
the
snag or two trying to get to him. He ain't about to stop, no matter what. He's got so many questions after all. The Thunder brothers didn't make it. Just think, without that man, we wouldn't be here right now, would we? But him, he survived. What do you say to a man who's seen too much? Kid hasn't a clue, but he says this. He's a proper gentleman, that man. His name is Zolf. No hiding he's an Ura. Folks like him ain't never been a common sight in Caelondia. He's relieved to see a living face or two. The kid and I introduce ourselves in kind, both to him
you do that?
and to each other
I don't know.
for the first time.
You just gotta get used to the
Zolf's
center of
travels
the
ain't
screen.
much compared to what the kids had to go through for all this. Kid's
Still
surprised when I
knows.
tell him there's only one core left.
Gotta wobble
I
the
shouldn't have
goes
believed
to
it
open the
either.
machine. Real life problems.
There's only one way to Cinder Brick Fort. The hard way. Sure, the city marshals may be gone, but now the fort's crawling with windbags. The calamity was mercy, normal folks. At least the marshals left the kid a parting gift. Windbags ain't much different from normal folks. All they want's a warm place to stay and a decent meal.
I mean, you can die.
Could have been minding their business underground like in the old days. Well, the fort ain't theirs by right. Not a scratch on him as he presses on to higher ground.
What is that? It's like, what the fuck?
Security's plane gone haywire. Windbags gummed up the works. They trapped the kid in the middle of the fort's parade grounds. And now ain't nothing left for nobody down at Cinderbrick Fort. Kid shows up just as Zolf's telling me about his own journey to the city. Seems the only thing the calamity saved for Zolf was his Zolf banged up the monument pretty bad. That's it. A few more shards like that, and we'll be back in business. But there's a way to put her back together.
Show me the thing again.
The shards.
Oh, that was it. I'm a derp. I was like, what? Why didn't it work? It did work.
Ankle gators used to roam the wilds, and they nested at Rothus Lagoon. Many a tale folks used to scare their children straight originated here.
Then we have to deal with this guy.
They used to think that ankle gators were extinct. Well, they ain't. Turns out Queen Anne got a hold of a shard. Ankle gators love shiny things. The brushers use their pikes to keep their distance around here. Now the kid can do the same. Queenie leads the kid into some kind of twisted trap. The closer you get to an ankle gator's lair, the thicker the tall grass grows. One bad step in that tall grass and he's Queen Anne's lunch. Wanna know how to find an ankle gator lair? You use a kid as bait. Now she's coming for him. She's got nowhere else to go. She's starting to get annoyed. The shard's sitting in plain view. They say if you run across an ankle gator, you better keep running. After all that, kid lets the ankle gator
So
go.
small and they're so big. I guess there are small aliens and big aliens. You've got me thinking now, Ralph.
Hope Queen Anne don't mind us borrowing from her treasury.
On it.
All that trouble for a single shard. But you know what?
Crazy.
It was worth it. It ain't too
Looney
late to
that
unlock
walks
the
up there
potential of this
all the way.
place.
I do side. Just because it's more consistent. You can't like fall.
We need an
I get up
awful
to the
big
swing
lost
there,
and found
turn
under the
around sideways.
circumstances. The Bastion ain't
So I
gonna
always
build.
get over and then go backwards. It's 100% consistent. You can't fall down.
Not everything blew up in the calamity.
It's the same speed. If you see Looney, he goes
Why
back.
Colford Cauldron
Sometimes
here
you can
blew
fall
up
down.
way ahead of its
You
time.
can
The
not
cauldron
turn
boiled
around
over
fast
some
enough.
300 years ago.
Nice.
They say it filled the skies with ash and the lakes with molten rock. As for us, we learned an awful lot from Colford Cauldron. Sure, we dusted off a good many secrets out here, but we discovered other things we're better off not knowing. All sorts of awful things crawling underfoot.
Oh my God, I
After
got it.
all, when we looked down
There's
inside
nothing I can do. I'm
Colford
gonna die.
Cauldron, we saw in there the heart of the world.
Just as I said, I
The
hope I
heart
don't get
now
infinite
laid bare
falling.
by the calamity. As for the kid,
Falling and dead.
he just has to get that shard out of there. Too bad taking that thing woke up every last stink eye from here to Charleston Bog. Where there's one stink eye, there's always more. Biggest stink eye he's ever seen's waiting for him on the other side. The cauldron's tenants all gather up to bid the kid a fond farewell. With a good spyglass, you can still see the. He comes back looking like the inside of a chimney. The shard works like a charm. You can hear the monument's heartbeat again.
What when you crouch when you're doing this?
The monument's getting better. Zolf sure did a number on it, though. The arsenal's complete, in case we need protection. High time we built something new.
I walk sideways.
Imagine everything you'd need to build a city like Zealandia.
So
It takes
confused.
hard work and planning, and it also takes Burstone Quarry. We bought the whole place from the Ura on the cheap. Not only are these rocks a source of life, they're recording everything, all the time, taking it all in. We found that the oldest ones remember things. Now why would the Ura sell off such a fascinating place? Might be the gods told them the quarry's bad news. Those rocks, all polished to a mirror sheen, the largest ones, you know as cores. Remember how I said rattletails ain't the worst thing in the quarry? That honor goes to a beast we took to Colin, Sir Lunky. We never could get stubborn old Lunky to leave the quarry alone. Massive things stomped many of our boys. We just couldn't get rid of him. Then the kid hears a voice calling from down the hall. Are you alright? It says. We talk for a spell.
Does the frame rate have to be? Oh, what does the
Kid
frame rate
hears
have to do with
him,
this?
but he ain't about to be deterred.
The high, basically, you cannot do the wall
If that's the
climbing
way it
thing
is, he
without a high
says,
FPS.
then I won't stop you.
Because
Because my
console's
countrymen
on 30
will.
FPS no matter what. PC is supposed to be on 30 FPS, and the game is supposed to be played on 30 FPS. If you take the game over 30 FPS,
Say
would
what
kind
you
of
will
break
about
the
Zolf, but he's a
game
man of
and
his
everything.
word.
Objects, physics objects work differently.
His countrymen don't much care for
You can
pleasantries,
climb up some
though.
walls like you can.
The Hura think they got him. They're
Some things are
wrong.
different on higher FPS because they work a lot faster. So technically,
Zolf showed
there's
him the
more
way here,
frames in
and
the
he had-
running animation. Because you think about it, normally on 30 FPS, you do this movement with 30 frames. I'm like falling. You do like one step. You do that with like 30 frames.
The
but
shards can
when
put this
you
disease
have-
in remission.
You have
There's
like
only one
100
cure.
or over
We
100
need to
frames.
finish
Doing
what we
that
started.
one simple step,
The Bastion.
that's
It's
done
finally
with 220 frames instead. So you can actually gain height on objects
Now,
just because
there's something I
you
want
have
you to
extra
see.
frames to your walking animation, pretty much. There's more frames crammed inside of one movement. So every time I do this,
Welcome
that's having more frames
to the
than it
heart
would
of
have
the
at
Bastion.
30 FPS. If that makes any
I
sense.
ain't one for long
I can try to
goodbyes.
explain it a little
So
bit.
here's the deal. Zia and I figure you done the heavy lifting,
By moving
so you
his
get to
hand
do the
once at
honors.
30 FPS, that's
We can
30
tell you how
frames
to
gone
work this
fast,
thing if you
pretty
got
much.
any questions.
And in 60 FPS,
Hey,
that's
kid.
60 frames gone fast. So my hand moved 60 times from here to here. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and
It's
so
finished.
on until 60 frames. 30
Now,
30
sit
frames.
tight.
It moves
It'll be over
30
soon.
times long, kind of thing. And the more,
No matter what
obviously,
happens
the more
next,
frames in the movement, the more
You done good.
you're gonna gain because you're moving quicker.
I suppose all that's left is to try and remember this moment.
If that makes sense. Well, never thought of it that way.
The Bastion's
I'm
gonna
play
take us
some
back
Sims
to
for
a
about
better
15
time
minutes.
before any of this.
Welcome back, Robo. I'm about to play some Sims because
Might be we'll forget
that
everything
rhymes
you've done. And each other.
Sims to bring and find it. Where's Sims? Sims?
Though after all we've been through, I find that hard to believe.
Sims. Yeah,
So long, kid.
found it. It was not
Maybe
on my
I'll see
desktop,
it.
it was on my start bar.
In the next one.
I gotta change my title. Hold on. It's up to change. Stream title. Yeah, I'm gonna play this for about 15 to 20 minutes and then I'll be ending the stream.
Saylandia,
Character save.
we're coming home.
Okay,
Sub 30, motherfuckers.